All right, hey, round two, we're back. We're going to work on Spelljammer Subclasses using the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration system that I developed and published on DMsGuild. This is a complementary, it's a companion piece to complement the mechanics that we built inside of Spelljammer Combat and Exploration to give your characters more options while being in command or crewing a ship. So, give me a second here to check on my signal, make sure everything's coming through clearly. I'm just going to go through my intro process here real quick. It'll just take a minute. If you're already familiar with the channel and you've perceived all this in the past already, you can skip past it. Let's see where we're at. Maybe I'm live now. It looks like it's queuing me up, and there I am. I should be live now. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Up, 1, 2, 3. Mic. There I am. I should be live now. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Up, and yeah, okay, that's cool. Mic check, mic check. Let's get that volume stabilized. Cool. Grab my linky here, and we will feed in the social medias real quick. Yeah, if you're already familiar with my channel, you've been here before, and you're catching us in the future, go ahead and skip ahead a minute, and we'll be done with all of our intro and updates and stuff like that. If you're new to the channel, or if you're trapped here in now in time space, I'll tell you, my name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online, and I'm a big Dungeons & Dragons enthusiast. I've been DMing since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator as a result of my love for D&D since 1999. And I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2017. Earlier this year, we published Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. I'll show that to you here in a hot second. I'll just finish up my intro stuff here. If you find this channel is worth your time, if you're on the X Twitter platform, you can find me there at Phil Kearney. Here is a bunch of illustrations, works in progress, links, articles, and content that I've either published or been in the process of producing. Be welcome to catch me here at Phil Kearney. Online here on YouTube, I am also at Phil Kearney. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. Here is the full, where is it? Okay, great. So we're going to work on subclasses today. So here is the link to the Spelljammer subclass document that we're going to be working inside of. This is the same as this one here, same thing. So while you're looking, it's read-only. So while you're looking at the read-only, I am going to be editing it as a live document today here. This is a support companion piece to the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration document that I created, which is right here, Spelljammer Combat and Exploration on DMsGuild. It's a deep dive into combat and exploration mechanics inside of Dungeons & Dragons. It's 107 pages. The entire document, you can read it at no cost. If you decide to purchase it, it provides all of the creature and ship assets, as well as mapping assets, how to build systems, tokens for everything for Lattice Araxis, all the characters, all the NPCs, all of the ships, weapons, the maps. So this dives into the combat and exploration mechanics of 5e, allowing players to control ships in battle the same as they control their characters in a dungeon at the 50 or 500 foot scale instead of the 5 foot scale. And I'll show you in the combat chapter here. 500 foot scale, 50 foot scale, 5 foot scale. You can see here fleets of combat battling, squadrons of ships battling or one-on-one, and then we have down to the 5 foot scale ships engaged, grappled, and then having troops boarding and disembarking onto ships. And at the 5 foot scale, it's basically like a normal dungeon, right? So we have a scaling mechanical system here that treats these ships kind of like, if you were to imagine it, like if a pilot were a druid, and when you focus on the helm to activate it, you wild shape into that ship. What would be your action economy? You'd have attacks, bonus actions, reactions, movement, object interactions, and then free actions. So that's how we divide the ship roles into action economy of interacting, object interaction, attacks, actions, bonus actions, reactions. And depending on the role that you're playing at the moment, will determine what you can use those actions for. Like during the same round of combat, here for example, I think we have an example of how ship roles interact. It's under group actions, communicating, taking damage for squadrons, squadron commander actions, ship support, sharing command of a single ship, and we have here we go, blending ship roles. This is the stuff. Hey Karen, welcome back. So when we're talking about action economy and different roles of your ship, blending ship roles reads, characters can share roles during a round of combat, allowing all characters to contribute to the success of an encounter at any scale. Furthermore, characters can freely mix actions and individuals and ship roles each round. For example, you can take the attack action to hit a monster with a sword at the 5-foot scale, then take command of a siege crew as a verbal action, and issue a command with an extra attack to fire a ballista at the 50-foot scale, while dogfighting another ship at close range, before using your movement to approach and sit at the ship's helm, then taking a bonus action to regain focus to pilot the ship, and then to use your object interaction to move the ship up to 5 squares in open distance that with the other ship, say at the 500-foot scale. This is each use of your action economy each round applied to either something that's on your ship at the 5-foot scale, other ships that you're engaging with at close range at the 50-foot scale, or movement or other range tactical actions at the 500-foot scale. Just breaking up your action economy between all of those, and you can have one character focus on more things at one time, and another character focus at a different scale or different weapons or a different role, but you can all share that together. So leaning into that idea of the spirit of group initiative. So Spelljammer Adventures in Space, written by WotC, suggests using group initiative during ship combat so that the team acts together each round. This allows ships to freely reorient its position in three-dimensional space so that the pilot can bring weapons to bear against any target when an ally makes an attack, casts a spell, etc., without the ship itself providing cover. Like you want to, like if there's a ship below you, and you can't shoot it with your ballistas, so you need to have the ship reorient itself so that you can actually get the weapons to bear on your target. Because in a dungeon combat, your character doesn't worry about their facing. You can face any direction, attack from anywhere. But when you're dealing with something at 50 or 500 foot scale, that becomes a big issue of blocking yourself from being able to target your own stuff. So the idea of group initiative that they introduced in SAIS, Spelljammer's Adventures in Space by Wizards of the Coast, they recommend group initiative so that everyone can just basically take a turn on the ship. This allows you to fire everyone can just fire a weapon, and there you go. And by melting away the specific initiative of characters inside of the round, you don't have to worry about when do the people that fire the weapons go and when do the people that make the ship move go, because they can work together in tandem. That's the idea. If you want to break down individual action economy that way, then you would have to wait for the pilot to move to change the angle of the ship. So then that means that whoever's in command of the siege weapons is basically delaying their action to then take it. Just gets sloppy and it's just unnecessarily clunky. So by blending things into group initiative, it does simplify the entire process. I've tried it multiple times in either way, and they both work, but they have their own advantages. So the group initiative allows you to not worry about orientation. Individual order keeps you from having too one-sided of a battle. If our whole team wins initiative over yours, you might not have a chance to even respond. It wasn't actually a fight with minimal resources spent. So by deciding like whose turn is in initiative, it's mine. Okay, great. So what are you going to do? Blah. Is anyone else going to chip in action economy onto what they're doing? And then you can just hand out action economy to whoever's turn it is right now to pull off whatever they need, knowing that they're going to be able to target and see whatever they need to do. And then as it continues to go down the initiative order, and you get to the very end, I've already used up all my actions, skip my turn, and then you just move along. So you just keep track of what you've done, and it helps keep everybody engaged together. Honestly, it keeps people molded together more because they're trying to pay attention to what can I do with my action economy. Like, I don't know what to do with my bonus action this round. What could I spend it on? to help some. Oh shit, he just missed his reload check. I'm going to dump my bonus action to help him reload the weapon so that he can fire again this round. Now I don't have to worry about my bonus action. I didn't know what to do with it anyway, so it just becomes action economy that other people can use. So you kind of have a pool of action economy to break up that way. The design decision simplifies ship combat significantly, but also grants a substantial benefit for whichever group wins initiative, allowing all creatures and ships in one group to act first, which can decide the fate of a battle before another group has a chance to act at all. If players and the DMs decide normal initiative is more fun or fair than group initiative, recognize that the spirit of Spelljammer combat is that the ship and crew are acting in tandem as a team. Mechanical concerns about whether the ship's pilot acts before or after a siege weapon attack, etc., and thus enemies acting between the two can use the ship itself as cover, can be set aside by remembering that group initiative resolves that concern. And using normal initiative in ship combat is an option that allows each character to act individually, but doesn't require added layers of complexity like arcs of fire or holding actions until the pilot can roll the ship into position, like I was talking about. So all these mechanics are here, and these are all, like, every role that you have has a lot of combat options that you can mess around with. So what's the natural extension of that? Let's make subclasses that lean into these different aspects of the game that we're creating with these new rules. So the subclass book is basically taking what we've built with these combat and exploration mechanics as a base model here in the core book. And now that we're looking at character options, like what can we do to expand on, tweak, or change what characters do and the ship mechanics do with the 2024 rules to create new subclass options, which is what we're exploring right now. So I think that was a fairly efficient summary of what today's task is. It's 12:45 right now. I've got until about 3, maybe 3:30. So let's build. We're going to borrow off I'm going to pull this document into its own tab so I can tab flip back and forth. And going into D&D Beyond, let's go back to the top here. We're going to grab game rules for classes because we're going to be dipping into the 2024 mechanics as needed to see what class options are interacting with the characters for us to be able to build these out. Again, this document is available for everyone to look at and read along with me if they want. It's a read-only document. In the description down below here, you can find it here, the Spelljammer Subclass Work in Progress. Click that. It takes you here, which is the same page that we're looking at right here. So be welcome to tag along. Like all my other books on D&D Beyond, it will be 100% preview. So this is not the final work. This is just the first draft and playtest document. Once we get serious about publishing it, we'll be hiring an editor. I'll be doing page layouts, artwork, and then we'll be publishing it on DMsGuild, at which point we'll pull this document from visibility. It'll disappear, and then you'll just be able to link through and read the full document here. And if you decide that you want to support more of this stuff, then you pick up a copy, right? People that are buying a copy of Spelljammer right now are telling me, yeah, we want a Spelljammer subclass book, or yeah, we want mecha and Warforged Machines and giant kaiju. Right? This is what you are investing in right now by buying my books. So cheers. Looking forward to having those for you guys to play with too. So we already finished the Artificer, and this guy's focused on siege machines, helping ballista crews, so we can create our own ballista on the fly. Fortifying weapons, what is this? The 9th level ability, you can take command of a siege weapon adjacent to you. You can focus on the weapon to create a magical barrier of force that provides half cover to the siege weapons and the crew operating them, while you remain focused to protect the protected siege weapons and crews also gain resistance to non-magical types of damage. Non-magical bludgeon, piercing, and slashing damage. There is no non-magical in 2024. It's just bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Let's see. So when you take command adjacent to you, you can focus on the. Actually, I need to. That's the first thing that we need to address. Let's remind ourselves of how cover works in 2024, because this was created first in 2014 before the new player's handbook came out. So there's been a number of revisions. So let's go to the lore glossary to find our reference rules real quick. This is a great addition, an addition to the document. Fully support this. Lore glossary, we want to go to cover. Am I in the wrong book? This is the Dungeon Master's Guide. Okay, so I need to actually be in the player's handbook. There we go. It's not lore glossary, it's rules glossary. There we go. Now I'll find cover. Cover. Cover provides a degree of protection to a target behind it. If there are 3 degrees of cover, each of which provides different benefits to a target. Half cover, 3/4 cover, and total cover. If behind more than 1 degree of cover, a target benefits only from the most protected degree. Okay, so by default, most ships provide half cover to siege weapons, and the crew at those siege weapons automatically gain half cover as well. So this is a non-feature, so we need to upgrade this. So when you take command of a siege weapon adjacent to you, you can focus on the weapon to create a magical barrier of force that provides, how do they word it? Is it 3/4? Is that the word? 3/4 cover. God, what a clumsy statement. 3. Three-quarters cover to the siege weapons, and because you normally get half cover, this provides you with 3/4 cover, which is better. Extra command: when you use the attack action to command a siege crew, you gain an extra attack that can be used to command the crew to make an additional attack or to reload. So that's just the extra attack action that you get specifically to spend on siege weapons. Command a siege crew. And then 15th level, the 3rd level was siege infusion. That's right. You can infuse mounted or siege weapons with a selection of infusions, one of which is enhanced weapon. Make the infused mounted or siege weapon deal magical damage. At 3rd level, you gain a +1 to attack and damage with mounted weapons, or +1 damage with siege weapon with mounted weapons, which are handheld like harpoon guns, and then +10 damage with siege, so which is like ballistas and catapults. 10th level is +2 and +20. Repeating shot reduces the reload score because there's the repeating shot infusion that the artificers can get for a crossbow. So we can infuse siege weapons with the repeating shot as well, and that effectively is reducing their reload score, which is pretty significant. Like a 3rd level character rolls a D6, and a ballista normally has a reload score of 2. So at 3rd level, this automatically drops it to 1. And your reload die is a D6, and you have to roll this equal to or above your reload score. So it's literally impossible for a 3rd level artificer in command of a ballista to. It's impossible for them to not automatically reload that weapon if it's the only weapon they're in command of. So that's really good value. So right off the bat, that's decent stuff. Extra commands, now they can do it twice at 5th level, and they're using a D6 instead of a D4, so it's even better. Fortified weapon, we just covered, you now have 3/4 cover, which gives you a +5 to your armor class. Plus, if you have any kind of cover, you can't be targeted with siege weapons. So like your siege crew, while they're operating a siege weapon, the crew itself can't be targeted unless you get to the 5-foot scale and engage them directly with monsters. Otherwise, siege weapons around them can't target them. You could throw harpoon fliggers and stuff off of fighter craft. They could attack individual crew members because that's a 5-foot scale weapon against 5-foot scale targets, but they'll have the +5 armor class to themselves. So you have like an armor class like 18 or better typically, which is pretty good for minions. And then fabricate. As an action, you can magically create an animated ballista that can be commanded to attack without a siege crew, as described in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration, page 55, animate object. So we're using a reference to our own book. So let's go to page animate object. Hey, look at that. It's the right page. So 5th level spell, animate object. When you amplify this spell, you can, and amplify means basically cast it on siege weapons or fighter craft, and then you can further amplify it to affect vessels up to 500 feet in size. So when you amplify this spell, you can animate an object up to 50 feet in size for each level of spell slot, amplifying the spell up to 250 feet with a 5th level spell slot. And a Hammerhead ship, for example, is the biggest ship that they have in Spelljammer Combat, in Spelljammer in general. We have our own custom ships that are bigger, but typically the largest ship you're going to have is going to be 250 feet. So by the time you spend a 5th level spell slot on this, 250. There you go. When a ship is animated, if it doesn't have a ram, you can choose a bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing ram, or change an existing ram if one is present. While commanding a ship this way without a pilot, the maximum speed of the ship is 500 feet per round. When a ship, and then if you have somebody that is piloting a ship, obviously it's going to be able to move at its normal speed. But when a siege weapon is animated, it can be commanded to aim, fire, and reload as though fully crewed. And the rank of the siege weapon is equal to the rank of the spellcaster. So if we're we get this at 14th level, so that means that we're a 4th rank. 4th rank characters use a D10. It's D4, D6, D8, D10 command die, and you use that instead of your proficiency bonus. So when I'm making an attack roll in command of a crew, I roll my D20, I use my stat bonus, and I roll the D10 instead of my +5 proficiency bonus to attack. And if that D10 results in the reload number or better, then I automatically reload the weapon so that we can fire again. If we fail the reload die, I now have to spend either a reaction, bonus action, or one of my attacks to reload the weapon instead. Kind of like having to reload a crossbow. So same idea there. And so while it's animated, you can basically, you don't have to have a crew. It's just been animated, and you can permanize animate, so you can have like living siege engines and the Vocath battle crab that we've been building on the side. We put it on hold for a couple months, but the Vocath battle crab that we were building is a 500-foot crab, and it has 10 animated trebuchet that it can command as a verbal action from his throne, which is a spell jamming helm, in the battles of the ship, far away from being targetable by any kind of attacks. So it's a really cool setup. It's expensive, but it minimizes, like Trebuchet needs 7 people each, and he has 10 of them. So he would have to have 70 people on staff just in case somebody wanted to attack and he wanted to lob stones back at them. It's far more it's more economical to actually pay to have animate object permanized on his trebuchet than to feed and have living facilities for 70 people just to fire trebuchets. So it gets a little ridiculous. So the idea of animated or awakened siege weapons isn't too unusual. Awakened, on the other side, is that if it's constructed of lighter composite material, it can actually become alive. So it becomes a pet or like a companion to you, kind of like any other awakened, like awakened horse. You can now have conversations with your horse, and he's very happy to know you. Same thing with your ship. Your ship can become awakened, and then they can pilot themselves. So as long as you keep the spelljamming helm in the ship, they can achieve spelljamming speeds by basically piloting themselves. So that's how that works. So those are those ideas. So that's where the animated turret came from. And it remains, the ballista remains for as long as the ballista remains animated for as long while you remain focused on it. Once you use this feature once, you can't use it again until you finish a short rest. You can also spend a spell slot to regain use of this feature during your turn. Now we already did the Barbarian for piloting. I don't want to go through all of them again because we have them here and I want to make progress today, not just recap. We did I think we did a decent recap last week, so you can check out the last episode of this. We got our cleric. That's right, the sojourn domain for traveling clerics, appropriate for the ship. Yeah, and okay, great. So this is where we're at now. So we're at the druid, and we're looking at the circle of the wayfarer. It could be a circle of, circle of wild space. It could be circle. Well, we already have a circle of the stars, right? We have a circle of the moon. Yeah. We don't have a circle of the sun. I think probably circle. I don't think circle of the way. I mean, wayfarer kind of works. Let's see. Let's figure out what we end up getting. So. Let's go to our scaffold here in the player's handbook. Let's go to Druid. Generally, when I build subclasses, I don't. I bend how mechanics get used, but I don't generally introduce new mechanics. Like I give you access to stuff that your character wouldn't normally have access to, but I don't generally push beyond the threshold of power that characters are already capable of doing. And often if I'm taking like a fighter and I'm bending them into druid stuff, it'll end up being like less powerful than what the druid could do. So that's a really good way to minimize the workload needed to playtest stuff, because you're staying inside of the box that already works. If you're building mechanics that are questionable in quality, or that are escalating the power of a character, playtesting those characters is useful. So finding your way into a pickup game and playing it yourself to see how it works and feels is a good way to shit test yourself. So that's just an idea there. But let's look at Plane Strider. Let's look at Circle of the Land. Maybe we'll look at Circle of the Stars. No, let's look at Circle of the Sea. That's the simplest. Spells. Extra thing, it's a use of your wild shape. Third level makes use of your wild shape in some way. That's generally what it does, in one word or another. It's just you're spinning that resource. Aquatic affinity, says your emanation increases, created by your Wrath of the Seas increased by 10 feet. In addition, you get swim speed, Stormborn, you get perks. Let's look at Moon real quick. Moon modifies your wild shape again, so there's a consistency in that wild shape language. You get your spells. 6th level modifies your wild shape. And then you get some sort of utility. Let's go to land. Land spells. Use of your wild shape. This is not using your wild shape. This is giving you restoring spell slots that are spent. This is utility, or it's a defense. Okay. I think I'm seeing the pattern. So what did I have before? This is where we stopped. Plane Strider. When piloting or focusing on an orrery station aboard a ship, when you enter the astral sea from the system, you can plane shift the ship and everything occupying its space to your destination, arriving at a location within range of noticing it, which means it's like within like a crystal sphere, which is potentially trillions of miles across. That could mean that like you're a billion miles away, so it's going to take like 10 days for you to get there still. You regain this feature when you finish a long rest. And well, there's that. So let's see. Did we finish the Ranger? Because I feel like this got plucked from the Ranger. Monk, Paladin, Oath of Salvage. I love that. Void Hunter. There we go. Oh yeah, it was tireless focus. While focusing on a helm or orrery station, you don't need to eat, drink, or sleep. In addition, remaining focused this way for 24 hours is considered completing a long rest. This is an odd take, but you can fake being a lich by staying in your chair. You don't need to eat, sleep, drink, breathe. It's pretty cool, but you're stuck on your throne. There's if you have a spelljamming helm in the bottom of a dungeon, you could trap a spelljammer ship inside of a room, like have like a
a 10 by 10 square, and then have the spelljamming ship inside of that square be like 9 by 9, just a wooden box, mount a chair to it, and now you're in command of a spelljamming, like a little 10-foot square room spelljammer ship. That's funny, but if you expand on the idea, so like it's an entire wizard's tower, and the tower isn't hold on, let me give you a visual reference here. I think this is a visual reference thing. We fixed our screen, right? Yeah, okay, good. So let's go here. Let's get this multi-pack out of the way. Okay, here's just my general workbench. So let's open up here. Here's the idea, right? Spelljammer ship can be anything up to 500 feet. So let's say this is these are 50-foot squares. That's 100 feet by, say, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 by 300 feet. 100 feet by 300-foot tower, right? And your wizard has a spelljamming helm at the top of the tower. This ship, this space is small enough to be. If this was a standalone object, this could just be its own spelljamming. It's a stupid spelljamming ship. It's a tower. It's really weird, but it works, right? I could have a number of levels inside of the tower here, right? I could have a dungeon underneath here. I'm being very careful about how I'm drawing right now because the internet is unforgiving. Okay, great. So here's our dungeon, and here's your ground, right? So this is what you do. Instead of having your ground here be at the level and then having your dungeon underground from there, you do it this way. You have your dungeon underground, but you have an extra 50 or even 100 feet worth of digging space with the tower nestled down into the hole. And here's how you do. You don't bind this tower to a foundation and cement it into place and then just dig underneath to the dungeon. What you do is you dig a shaft, a hole large enough for your tower to fit inside of, and then you dig your dungeon entrance, and then you sally forth from there. But this tower is chained to the hole and dropped in because it's a spelljamming ship. So you can lift and fly away at any time. All you got to do is pop the chains. That's not the button I wanted to press. Thank you. Let's grab this again. So burp here like that, and then here like this. There. So your spelljamming ship, it comes in and then it docks, and then you clip the chains at the bottom of the tower to the dungeon, and now you're a typical wizard with his wizard's tower and his dungeon. But here's the kicker: while you are at the helm of your spelljamming, while you are focusing on spelljamming helm, you can see anywhere outside or inside the ship. And since the tower is your ship, whoever's in charge of this tower can literally see anywhere around or inside of it at any time. And you can cast spells as though you were physically located at your point of view while at the helm. So if we have characters coming into the dungeon here, into the tower, that want to go down into the dungeon or up to the top, your wizard is aware of it right here, and he can start lobbing spells at you from here and inside of here and inside of here, and he can hit you with his entire arsenal of spells without ever exposing himself to you at all. It is incredibly difficult to defeat a wizard in their own wizard tower if you implement spelljamming helms as their throne that they sit on while they're studying. Anyway, that's the idea. Hey, Phoenix. So yeah, that's how spelljamming helms work. So this is how you can fuck with people with spelljamming helms in a game that you don't specifically want to be spelljammer, but you can use the magic item that they provide for spelljammer for your wizard to have that sort of mastery over his tower, or like the hierophant of a church in his cathedral. As long as it's inside of a 500-foot space, that entire cathedral could be your spelljamming ship that the cleric can then cast spells of any sort they want throughout the entire facility, see anywhere, anytime they want. Period. It's a ridiculously powerful magic item that if you bend its use this way, again, any structure that you run across could be a Spelljammer ship. And if you just leave it tethered and anchored to its spot, it still functions with that sort of scry capability, but it's not going to go anywhere because it's bolted down, like it's chained in place. So like we're saying here, you've got the chains at the bottom of the hole, and then you just drop down. This is the dungeon, and now you're in actual underground, dungeon space doing dungeon stuff. But the way to get to the dungeon is through the wizard's tower. The wizard's tower is protected by the guardian wizard. Maybe it's a war mage, or like an illusionist, or an abjurist that is able to use its subclass features against your party while they're trying to storm the castle or storm the facility. Maybe it'd just be easier for them just to dig a hole to get there themselves. Who knows? But anyway, this is some of the fun stuff that you can do with it. So setting that was just a tangent. So I don't know why I wanted. I don't remember why I tangented into that. But we're looking at, that's right, Taoist Focus, the Ranger's subclass, Void Hunter, while he at 15th level, while at the helm. I mean, you can't be in a really effective lich as a 15th level Ranger. But the idea there is that while you are focusing on the helm, you never have to eat, sleep, drink, and it counts as a long rest if you stay there long enough. So you can just perpetually stay awake while you're at the helm. So it becomes a perfect watchman over a facility. But that's like really high level. So like we could probably create maybe a very rare magic item to cheat these things into the helm. So like if you have like this spruced up helm, you can have these benefits. That's probably a sensible thing to do. But it's too late now to digress. But that's where we're at. So I was just doing a spot check on what the top level, what the top feature for the Ranger was, so that we can drop down here, and we want to go back to the Druid because we're building the Druid right now. So the Druid's 14th level feature, its capstone power is Plane Strider, which is while piloting or focusing on an Ori station aboard a ship, which is the navigational and scry system. It's called an Ori station. When you enter the Astral Sea from the system, you can plane shift the ship and everything that occupies the space of the ship to your destination, arriving at a location within range of noticing it. You regain this feature when you finish a long rest. Like if you're focusing specifically, you go into the Astral Sea and then you can teleport to anywhere that you want to go to. Like I want to go home. So it'll teleport you back to, like, say, Toril, the planet for Forgotten Realms. And it'll be within noticing distance, right? So the Toril fits inside of a 10,000 mile space. So let's go look at our navigation rules here real quick for visibility. And a planet that occupies a 10,000 mile space, like the planet Toril, coincidentally enough, you can notice it with the bare eye 10 million miles away. There you go. So when your ship blips into orbit, you'll be about 2 hours away, or basically in orbit with the moon. So you'll basically be as far out as the moon is, and then you'll be able to close distance from there. Let's see. Thinking things through. Oh no, that's a lot farther away than the moon is only 200,000 miles away. My mistake. 10 million miles is it will take 2 hours to get there because you can move 100 million miles per day. 24 hours divided by 10 is 2.5. Round down 2 hours per day, or 2 hours travel time. 10 million miles in 2 hours is roughly how it works. 24 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 1 minute, 1 round. Those are your scale. 24 hours, 2 hours. 10 minutes, 1 minute, 1 round. There you go. From 6 seconds to 24 hours. That's your scale. So, yeah, that's how that feature would work. So now we need to rewind. We need something for Wild Shape, and then we need Wild Shape Augment, Wild Shape / Spell Augmentation. This is the basic scaffold for the Druid now. And then for 10th level, we need some sort of utility defense options. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so bonus spells. Oh, how do they title stuff? Let's look at some of the titles. Lands Aid. Improve circle forms. Wrath of the Sea. These are all using wild shape options. And then Circle of the Star is Starry Form. Meld with ship. Let's call it something more fun. Ship melding. For now. You can use. What's the wording? There. When you use a bonus action to focus on a helm to pilot a ship, you can expend a use of your wild shape feature to meld your body with the ship. While melded this way, you cannot, your movement is reduced to 0 and you remain, while melded this way, you remain in contact with the helm, reducing your speed to 0, and you cannot lose focus for the duration of the wild shape. For the duration of the use, for the duration of, of the, how do I word that? For the duration of, you cannot lose focus for the duration of the wild shape. I think that might, I hire editors for this stuff to help me hash out this language, but that's the gist. I think you get it. You're stuck in the chair, you cannot move, but you can't lose focus either. Focus works like concentration, except that it's not maintaining like a single spell. You can maintain focus on as many objects around you that you are within range or like adjacent to or touching. So you can focus on a eldritch cannon, a helm, and an orrery station all at the same time if they're within 5 feet of you while you do so. But it works like concentration in that if you take damage or are distracted, then you have to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your focus. There's also the risk of inertia shock, and where you stun yourself for increasing or decreasing speed too quickly. It basically acts like it's kind of like you're tripping somebody and they take falling damage as a result of it, and it causes you to get stunned and you lose focus. So at third, it's a pretty big. It's a means. A problem with combat is that there's no intrinsic system that says you can't accelerate at a certain, there's 10 degrees of magnitude from standing still to 100 million miles speed, and you can basically go from 0 to 10 to 1 million miles per day, 100 million miles per day, in a single round of combat if you want to. But siege weapons generally have a range of 1 mile. So there's a problem here in that you create an action loop where I can jump in from 10,000 miles, pelt you with a bunch of siege weapons, and then blip out of range. And we know from the visibility tables that if I can blip 10,000 miles away, like you can only really see a 500-foot vessel within 100,000 miles, or visually, like with your naked eye, within about 100 miles. So somebody could blip in from 10,000 miles away, hit you with a burst of weapon fire, and then bounce back out with the rest of their movement that turn. And all you're going to be able to see is them as blips on a radar. Of bouncing in, you just took a bunch of damage, and now you can see they're like out 10,000 miles away. And then you're basically doing like this dog tag thing where people are blipping in and out at each other, trying to dump their weapons on each other, which isn't what was intended. So what we did was we implemented inertia shock. So it's a Constitution saving throw. It's 20 plus the number or the degree of magnitude that you shift gears in during a single movement. So if the first shift is free. So if I'm going from hovering to 5-foot scale movement, with this turn of movement, no inertia shock. And then the next turn, it's from 5 to 50-foot scale, then from 50 to 500-foot scale, from 500-foot to 1 mile scale. So I can slowly move away from a dock and then just naturally like exponentially increase speed until I'm maximum speed. And by the time I get to maximum speed, I'm already pushing orbit in a normal planet. So it just kind of curves together naturally that way. But the higher level I get as a character, the easier it is for me to hit that DC on that saving throw. Like if I want to go from standing still to 50 feet, the inertia shock check is only a DC 21 Constitution check. But that might be enough to stun you for a round into like the fear, like skip a beat. Like if I try to ramp up like that and I fail the roll, then basically I stutter step and like I try to fire up the engine, it doesn't turn over yet. So I may as well just back it out slowly and curve into it. Or if I think I'm going to be able to hit the die roll, I can go from standing still all the way to 100 million miles per day speed, which is 10,000 miles per round. So I can jump from standing still to 10,000 miles per round, but the difficulty is going to be 29, which is huge. But high-level characters that have expertise in piloting and good constitution, they can potentially. Oh no, expertise doesn't even come into that. Boy, it'd be really yeah, you have to be basically 13th level or higher, a +5 bonus to your proficiency, and then you have to have a really high constitution of at least 18 to get that 19. Actually, that becomes pretty 20. That's a +9 bonus. So you'd have to be 13th level with an 18 constitution and roll a 20 to be able to hit that number at any point. So it's highly unlikely you're going to be able to pull that off. So you're more likely going to do little jump steps. So when you're getting into combat, if you jump in to dump damage on people, if you try to jump back out, you risk stunning yourself. And now your ship is dead in the water and you have no shields until the pilot can get themselves back online, and then they lose the rest of their action economy until it's their turn again. So that's high risk. You could jump in for an attack, maybe, if you don't stun yourself out. If you can jump in and dump in a load, chances are you're going to want to back away a little bit more slowly so you don't stun lock yourself on the way out. But stun in, stun out, big threats. So at 3rd level, I do not want to remove the threat of inertia shock, but I'm thinking about it. So sorry, big walkthrough there, but I thought it was important to detail that for those that aren't familiar. You remain in control of the helm, reducing the speed to 0, and you cannot lose focus for the duration of wild shaping unless you fail an inertia shock check. Period. And then at level 6, let's see. It's an augmentation. Typically, it's an augmentation of the wild shaping. That's what we're looking at. Like you expand upon it. What could we do to expand upon the ship melding idea that we have here for the druid? And then we get to pick out spells once we finish that. So the natural thing that we could do is How about natural melding? Your familiarity with melding with with a ship. That's some clumsy ass language. Let's just skip the flavor text for now. I'm not good at it. While you are melding with your ship, you now gain advantage on. Wait a second. You can roll. While you're when you make an inertia shock check while you are melding with a ship, you can roll your command die, adding the results to your Constitution saving throw. To the result of your Constitution saving throw. Of the Constitution saving throw. Command die, adding the result to the result, adding the roll. Adding the number to the results of the Constitution saving throw. There you go. So at 6th level when we get this, we're rolling a D6. Then at 9th level it's a D8. At 13th level it's a D10. At 17th level it's a D12. So you're gonna get really fucking good, pretty quick at being able to avoid inertia shock. So that feels really good. I'm really happy with that. The thing is you can have co-pilots like Han and Chewie. You can both be at the helm and you can both contribute action economy to each other. So you can have like a ranger and a druid working together. The ranger never sleeps and the druid stays melded to the helm next to the druid, next to the ranger. And so when you need to jump, space, the druid can make the jump. And the ranger can be doing navigation, like Chewie stuff. So like in Han and Chewie, like the druid would be more like Han Solo, and the ranger would be more like Chewie, adding support and navigation and scry spotting, and can use Hunter's Mark, Foe Hunter, to increase the result of you hunting for targets with the scry scanner. And while the pilot is using its wild shape to meld to the ship to control it more naturally, even more naturally than he can. So, and then Plane Strider makes even more sense. You're fused to the ship, you're just going to basically starburst, like from Farscape is basically what you're doing. Once you hit the Astral Sea, you can starburst. There you go. Let's analyze the Druid's 10th just a little bit more before locking down ideas. Starry Form improves, gives you some additional utility. Circle of the Sea. Your Wrath of the Sea confers 2 more benefits, so you're basically ramping stuff that you get from your Wrath feature. Hold on. You create a star chart. No, not star math. Starry Form. Wild Shape. Level 10, Starry Form improves. Wild Shape, Wild Shape, Wild Shape, Wild Shape. Wow, literally every level of star is Wild Shape modifications. That's cool. What about the Sea? Wild Shape, Wild Shape, Wild Shape, Wild Shape. Everything in Sea is Wild Shape modifier. Moon. Wild Shape. Wild shape. No, that's the spells. Wild shape for improved circle. This is just a teleportation, which is a utility effect. Lunar form. Wild shape. Huh. And you would be able to do this. You teleport while wild shaping. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. So then let's go to the land. Wild shape. Wait, that's moon. Let's go to land. Wild shape. You have prepared your circle of spells. In addition, when you finish a short rest, you can choose expanded spell slots to recover. Okay, that's spell stuff. You have resistance to damage side of the current land choice. Shown on a table. That's spell stuff. Spell stuff. No, that's utility resistance. And then as a magic action, you can spin and then wild shape. Wow, everything's about wild shape. Thank you, Timely Timer. So we're going to go with the spell effect direction that we have with the land. It's a nature sanctuary. While piloting or focusing. You can use the magic action to plane shift the ship and everything occupying its space to your destination, arriving at a location within range of noticing it. You regain this feature when you finish a long rest. Magic action. At a location within range of detecting it. Let's expand that out a little bit further. That's going to expand the distance by 1,000. So you'll arrive within a day of Toril. That's going to be better because you can drastically reduce your travel time at 14th level just to speed up your overland mission, like your overland missions, quote unquote. But it still can allow the DM to set up like barricades and stuff. Like you can't just like teleport past them by default. You still have to contend with the environment. That feels right. So what else can we be doing? Natural melding, ship melding, natural melding. You can roll your command die, adding the number to the result of the Constitution saving throw. Period. How about weapon melding? While using your wild shape feature to meld with a ship. Zero, cannot into wild shaping. Your wild shape feature to meld with a ship. You can. Check. There you go. You can grow melee. You can grow natural weapons. To pilot a ship constructed from light or composite material. That's important because heavy material is stone and metal. So light is like wood, chitin, wood and crystal, while composite material is like chitin and bone, cartilage. And then composite could also be a mix of like light wood and metal plating, or like stone, like heavy dense material reinforced over a light frame. So composite material is okay. It's like just basically having barding, like a horse with barding on it, as opposed to a horse made of stone. Difference. So weapon melding. While using your wild shape features to meld, this actually feels like. While using your wild shape, let's just call this. Let's call it combat. Let's call it combat melding. Combative melding. While using your wild shape feature to meld with a ship, you can grow natural weapons. Let's do it like this. As a bonus action, while using your wild shape feature, when activating or using your wild shape feature, or while using your wild shape feature to meld with a ship, thank you, you can grow ship melee weapons, either a ram, grappling claw, or grappling tentacle. And we already know that the damage and range and reach of melee weapons like this are determined by the ship that you're commanding. So that's already locked in. I don't need to express that here. In addition, furthermore, in addition, when you make an inertia shock check while you are melded with a ship, you can roll your command die, adding the number to the result of the Constitution saving throw. That's your wild shape. Okay, cool, that works. And then we have combative. I think like combat meld. Yeah, just combat melding. I think that's cool though. Combat melding. Yeah. And then so let's see. Let's do this. In addition, you can reshape the ship while melded to traverse land or liquid. To traverse solid or liquid surfaces. Some ships can't land in water or on the land. Some ships can land in the water and move like a sail. Some can land on solid ground and then move around that surface as though they're like a truck or like a crawling vehicle. This is typically like the spiders, the scorpions, stuff like that have the ships that have like legs to be able to move around on. You can do that. So this is allowing. In addition, when you make an inertia shock check, in addition, you can reshape the ship while melded to traverse solid or liquid surfaces, and that's all already defined in the document as well. Hold on. The ships. Here's a bunch of sample looking ships. And here you go. Vessels, terrain, solid liquid, like a bombard can't land on, like if it land like the bombard, if it lands on, it just tips over, right? So it can land on solid ground, but it can't actually traverse it. Liquid, a damselfly can land in liquid. Here's what a bombard looks like, right? It's basically a ship with a giant cannon on it. And here's a damselfly. It's an insect, right? It's a metal insect and it has 6 legs. So how does this work? So we go back down here. We look at the bombard, and no, it can't land. Like it can't traverse. You can drop anything on the land and just lay there, sure, but it can't actually traverse that terrain. It's not equipped to move on it. But if you put it in liquid, it has sails. It can move on water. The damselfly, yeah, it can land in water, but it's not designed to move in water with sails. It just floats. You're going to have to fly away with it. But it is designed to land and also with its limb be able to crawl around on the ground. So that's where these differences are of yes and no, right? A lamprey, if you look at the lamprey, here, this is obviously a space, like a really well developed large space skiff. It doesn't have any sails. It doesn't have any limbs for locomotion. It's seaworthy. It can float, but if it's gonna move, you're gonna fire up the helm and fly away with it, or skim across the water, or skim across the land. It can land solid on any surface, water or land, and it's stable. But it can't actually move. You're going to have to fire up the helm and move it if you're going to do so over either one of those surfaces. So that's what this table is explaining. And you can see everything has the same 15, 35, 50. That's your movement speed. Like if you're moving more than 50 foot squares, if you're moving more than 50 foot square speed, then you're going to pick up and you're going to start flying. Because 50 foot square, that's basically a... 60 miles. It's basically 60 miles per hour is what it translates into. Roughly 50 miles. You can just get rid of this. You can just leave the 0 in place and basically just call it 50 miles per hour. So if you're going to fly, the next scale up is 500 miles per hour, which is like supersonic speed. You're not going to walk along the ground at supersonic speed. That's ridiculous. What you're going to do is you're going to pick up your weight and then you're going to skim across the surface like a land speeder. But you're actually using your helm to fly just really close to the ground or the water. You're not actually walking anymore. You can't casually walk at 500 miles per hour. So that's what you can't effectively, like, water is moving so fast at 500 miles per hour that you aren't swimming through that water. You're skipping across it like a rocket. It's effectively a solid surface because you're going to hit hard. It's going to hurt. So that's why you have those scale limitations, and that's why we have those numbers imposed, which become consistent, and you don't have to. The turtle ship should be yes with an asterisk, and that it can actually go underwater. That was a flaw, and I need to fix that. But we still have to update the rules for this for 2024, so we're going to do that. But anyway, so that long story short, too late. This being able to reshape it to be solid or liquid, you can basically just reshape the ship like an animal. It grows limbs, or it grows like a sail that it can swim, like with fins and shit. So combat melding as a bonus action when activating or while using the ship. Okay, we have that in place. Now we have this last task of what's our 10th level goodie, and then we have spells. So wild shaping. Okay, so we have the Constitution saving throw bonus, and that's as good as we're going to need to get. That's a fucking great add. Ship melding, combat melding. Let's go with natural melding. And yeah, I want to take this inertia feature and I want to push it to 10th because that feels like a 10th level thing to do. It's inertia shock's pretty powerful. I'm fine with being able to, as a bonus action, meld the ship. You can grow ship melding. And let's take this. Let's take this and just drop it down into here because this is where we're reshaping what the ship is like. Here we're able to bond with it. And by 6th level, we can actually reshape the ship while we're bonded. Yeah, I'm good with that progression. And then at 10th level, while bonded, we can start ignoring the physics of the craft itself. Is there is there another kicker? Because that's good. That's good. But do I want more? Is there more I want with it? That's not a bad idea at all. Okay. While using your wild shape feature to meld with a ship, you can amplify healing spells to repair the ship as a magic action instead of ritual. That's fucking insane. So the way that it works currently is you can cast like fabricate, mending, and I think wish, and I think there's something else I can't recall what it is offhand. But like fabricate and wish and stuff like that. These like repair type spells that like interact with objects. They heal hit points and damage to your ship. Mending is a cantrip, and generally you don't want an infinite casting cantrip to deal hit point, like to repair hit points, even if it's a ship. Because again, when your team is operating a ship, it is effectively becoming their body. Very literally so here with the druid. But even if like a barbarian were to sit down at the helm, you can take damage for the ship as a barbarian if you want, which is a great idea because you have resistance to most of the damage that's coming in. It's a good idea to do that. So you can, but when your ship takes damage, you either have to use a high level spell or a very slow mending ritual to repair your ship. It's because ships are so dangerous that if they get beat up, you don't want to just be able to say, I ignore your damage and I continue to attack Waterdeep. It's like, no, Waterdeep just punched you in the fucking balls. You're going to have to slink away and fix your ship unless you're an incredibly high-level character that can afford to dump a fabricate spell slot into, like, fixing your ship for, like, 70 damage or something like that. So, like, if a ship has, like, 500 hit points, that's not great. So, normally we can't use spells to repair ships. It's very inefficient. You either want a repair crew working on during short rests, like spend hit dice to heal the ship with repair work, or to use again these rituals that take like the mending spell takes an hour to use unto itself, so it's basically like spending hit dice in that manner, or these really high level mechanical spells that will heal some hit points. But this is allowing us to use healing spells on the ship as though the ship were alive, which is what you can do when you awaken a ship. When a ship is awakened, it becomes a creature, and you can start using healing spells on your awakened ship. It has a personality. It's basically a sidekick. So I will be making an awakened ship, a living ship sidekick book for Dungeons & Dragons Spelljammer. I'm really looking forward to that, but I'm still letting it percolate on my back burner and think things through. I want to get subclasses out first and start working on, and then I can start working on the sidekick book along while I'm continuing to build the Warforged the mecha kaiju book. So anyway, Bob's our uncle. But there's that. So now we can amplify healing spells to repair the ship as a magic action instead of rituals. As a magic action, period. I don't need to add it as rituals. That's just added text I didn't need. And then in addition, when you make an inertia shock while you are melding with a ship, you can roll your command die, adding the number to the result of the Constitution saving throw. Fuck yeah. And then final piece is Plane Strider, which is Plane Hop. Now, bonus spells. We got all that work done. Let's keep working. Tons of spell options, only 5. Limited spell options. Moon is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Roughly 5. It's 6, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is rocking. Fog cloud, gust of wind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, fucking 11. Okay, Circle of Sea gets 11. And then Circle of Stars gets Star Map. Star Form. No spells? Gain Guidance and Guiding Bolt spells, so those two. And then a spell-like effect for 3. Huh. So this is effectively like with the perks I guess we get here, we're effectively getting 5 like quote unquote spells. I guess that's how they're equating that. Fuck you. I want to give you 10 spells. So let's give them 10 spells. So let's go into our spell list. Let's just hit the back button and get to the spells, and let's go to the spell utility. Game rules, spells. And now we can pick out spell levels as cantrip, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Thank you, Timely Timer. And let's go with, let's filter those spells. And then let's go to show advanced options. And then let's go with source is going to be core rules. And then we filter. So this will give us our full spell list from cantrips through 5th. So we'll sort things by level. Our objective is to find 5 ship-like spells. That makes sense. Circle of the Wayfarer makes less sense now than it had before. What would be a good name for this circle? How about Circle of the Living Ship? There. So, what's some cool shit that we can pick up? Oof, that Blade Ward hurts. What can we get instead? Mending, of course. Cantrip. Mind. Mending is for... Oh yeah, Druid does get Mending. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to give it to him anyways. Mending and Message. Message is a great spell because you can send signals back and forth. Minor Illusion is great because you can create little spots of light to be able to relay messages with. Is there something more handy-dandy? Dancing Lights is also incredibly useful. You know, flashing lights. Starry Wisp? Tell me more about you. Mode of Light, 1 creature. Radiant damage. Dim Light. Invisible conquers invisibility and scales damage as we... Nah. Soul of the Dead, True Strike. Gotta buy a flash of magical insight. You make 1 attack with the weapon used in the spell's casting. The attack uses the spell casting ability for the attack and damage rolls instead of using strength or dex. If the attack deals damage, it deals radiant and the weapon's normal damage, my choice. And then it upgrades to an extra d6 at 5, 2d6 at 11, 3d6 at 17. Okay, that makes sense. But no, I don't think I need that. Word of Radiance. Erupts from your in a 5-foot emanation. Each creature of your choice that you can see it in a Constitution saving throw or take radiant damage. Jesus. 2d6, 3d6, 46. Okay. But yeah, none of those feel right. So I guess we go to message. I guess we'll just take message. Message, and then I need to refine this real quick. In addition, when you make the while using your wild shape to meld with the ship, you can amplify healing spells to repair the ship as a magic action. Okay, no, that language works good. So let's see. First level spells. What's the cool stuff we got? Why not? Cure wounds, huh? When do we start? When can we start healing ourselves? Wild shape, wild shape. 10th level, huh? Cure wounds might be a little early for that. But it's 10th level, I said? Is that right? 10th level. So 3rd, 4th. So healing spells are open for 3rd, 4th, and 5th level. So let's keep healing in mind there, but stick with utility and form here at the lower levels. Alter self and disguise self aren't bad. Let's go with disguise self. That's a great spell. Because you can change you can change how your shape looks that way. Expeditious retreat, fairy fire, entangle, ensnaring strike, find favor. What else you got? What you got? Find familiar. Good berry, grease, guiding bolt, hail of thorns, healing word, hellish rebuke, heroism, hex, hunter's mark, ice knife, identify, illusory script, inflict wounds, jump, lawn strider, mage armor. What else you got? Come on, buddy. What you got? Protection, purify, ray, sanctuary, searing smite. Sanctuary is not bad. I kind of like that idea. Seek with animals, Tensor's floating disc, thunderous smite, unseen servant. Oh, unseen servant. That's perfect. This is a ritual you can cast that creates a minion, a spectral minion that can go fetch things for you. If you are melded and bound to your chair, and you really need that chessboard, and you fucking forgot it in your cabin, you can send your unseen servant to go fetch it for you. So that's actually fucking perfect for you. That is great. And you could even flavor it like it's a spirit of the ship that that forms out of the ship and is like part of the ship. That's a neat idea. All right, 2nd level spells. Holy crap, I love that. Hopefully we're gonna find something similarly cool. Alter self might not be a bad one. I can pencil that in. The 6th level feature is going to basically replace what that is by being able to create weapons. So I don't think it's going to have much need for long. But let's just see. Let's see what is arcane vigor. Oh, hit dice expenditure. Okay. Blur, calm emotions, continual flame, cordon of arrows, crown of madness, darkness, dark vision, detect thoughts. Ability, enthrall. Keep them coming. I have anything? I don't have anything yet. I need something. Here, come on, buddy. Give me something. That's a restoration, looking at all the plants, object, magic mouth, magic weapon, elf, mind spike, mirror image, misty step. None of this is jumping out at me yet. I'm gonna have to start getting creative. Moonbeam, pass without trace, phantasmal force, prayer of healing, rope trick. Shatter. No, none of this is just jumping out at me yet. Oh, Warding Bond's a good one. Because you can share damage. So if you're doing like co-piloting stuff, you can help soak damage off of your pilot that's taking the hits. That's really freaking useful. Summon Beast. We have the Unseen Servant. That's probably gonna cover us. Let's wind it backwards a bit and see if we can find something. Anyone out there that's in TV land, if any of these are jumping out at you as obvious spells for the druid to take as like a pilot focus, let me know. Most of these subclasses are pilot focused. I'm noticing. There's some variety, like siege stuff and navigation stuff, but there's a lot of theme around pilots, which is fine because you can have a whole squad of characters on fighter craft with their own fighter craft, using their craft in different ways depending on what their subclasses are. So that's super cool. I like that. And that would come in really handy, like with the mecha campaign, like the Warforged Mecha Machines that we're building. These subclasses can lean into those things. Jeez, the druid is gonna be freaking tough and tanky. Come on, man. What's out there for me? Mirror image. Beast sense. Not really. Calm emotions, cloud of daggers, continual flame, cordon of arrows, crown of madness, darkness, dark vision, detect thoughts. Detect thoughts isn't horrible, but it doesn't make a lot. I mean, it's a useful utility thing, but it's not jumping out at me as something like. I like the idea of being able to read the thoughts of people that are aboard your ship. That just kind of makes sense, but it's not specifically a druidish thing to do, and I don't know why the druid would be able to do it. It's just kind of nonsensical. Sanctuary is first level spell, so I've gone too far. Show me the love. Aid. Queen height, weight, blah. Create natural weapons. I don't want to lean on ultra stuff because you're just going to get that. Disguise self lets you make your ship look like a different type of ship while you're maintaining it. That's cool. The ultra self doesn't have nearly as much of I mean, we can change our size, but no, I just don't feel like it's necessary. I don't hate it though. I mean, it is flavorful, and I'm really kind of scraping the barrel trying to find something better. Yeah, let's just keep it. Let's just keep it. All right, third then. Okay then, together. Third level, let's see if we find some cool shit for third level. Third level, we can start doing, because 10th level, we get the spellcast, we get the healing kick. So we can start adding on healing spells at this point, because this comes in at level 9, and then level 10 we get the healing. So that's close. It's close enough. So clairvoyance isn't bad. That's not specifically about the ship though. Weapon. Oh, yeah, it's pretty minimal damage. Don't need it. Feign death, fireball, fly, gaseous form, glyph of warding. I love glyph of just coding your ship in glyph of warding is so fucking cool. Haste, hunger, hatter, hypnopattern, Lehman's tiny hunt. Lehman's might not be a bad idea. Let's do it. Plant growth. Overgrowth or enrichment. All plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within range become enriched. Once a point within range, all normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered at the spell become thick and overgrown. A creature moving through the area is hostile. It's difficult terrain. You can exclude one or more areas of any size within the spell's area from being affected. Huh. Maybe. I'm not seeing a natural connection there. Sending's not bad though. I'm gonna pencil sending in. Because that's a really useful long distance communication option. Unless there's something better, that's gonna be good to me. Some Fey, tongues, vampiric touch, water breathing, water walk, wind wall. Nope. See, that was good. And now we have 4th level spells. We absolutely can heal at this point. So tell me about Aura of Life. Huh, not so useful. Wait, hold on. If an ally with 0 hit points starts its turn in the aura, that ally regains 1 hit point. Wow, that's actually really, really good. Popcorn. This would keep your ship from ever being destroyed. That's actually really fucking good. Aura of Life, because you can heal the ship you're bonded to. Having an Aura of Life active, you can't lose focus from damage with this while you're melded. This would prevent your ship from ever truly being destroyed. Just capped at 1 hit point. Holy crap. It's almost OP. Yeah, but it's not. Arcane Eye's not horrible. Charm Monster, Compulsion, Confusion, Conjure, Control, Death, Dim, Div, Dom, Ev, Fab. Ooh, Fabricate. That's a great spell. Super Repair, and then Leo. 5th level spell. And now I want actual spell. Now I want actual healing. They are really good spells. Private Sanctum's awesome. Faithful Hound, but it's not appropriate for this. Faithful Hound, unnecessary. Olix Resilient Sphere is super cool, but unnecessary here. Stone Shape, Stone Skin, Summon. I don't think we're going to find better choices. Awaken. I like the idea of Awaken. No, we don't need to make that a bonus spell. Just because I like druids walking around and making ships living doesn't mean that it's going to be hard coded into their class. So let's just move that along. I want a healing spell because this is at 5th level. That's 9th level. That's 9th level caster. That gives us really, and that 10th level gets a really good healing. So is there really good healing? Just looking for some good healing here, folks. Picked a cute one. Mass Cure Wounds. Choose up to 6 creatures in 30-foot radius centered at the point. Each target regains hit points equal to 5d8 plus your spellcasting. Okay. That's a Mass Cure Wounds. That's a strong contender. I doubt I'm going to find better. Raise Dead, Pathic Bond, Reincarnate, Scry, Seeming, Steelwind, Summon Quick, Sin, Telekinesis, T-Port, Tree Stride, Wall of Oath, and I'm out of spells. Yolanda's Regal Blood Law. Wall of Stone. Alright, let's wind it back. See what we can find.
Mislead. Nah. Modify memory. Nah. Pass wall. Nah. Planar binding. Not so much. Yeah. Yeah. No. Raise dead. Raise telepathic bond. Reincarnate. Scrying. Seeming. What was seeming? Oh. Unwilling target, blah. Same appearance of different ones of the target. The spell can change the appearance of the target's bodies and equipment. You can make each creature seem 1 foot larger or smaller. Target's new appearance must have the same basic arrangements of limbs. The change wrought by the feature fails to hold up against physical inspection. Oh, yeah, no. That's basically disguise self, like mass disguise. Steal one strike, no. Synaptic static, no. TK, not really. Well, force, nah. Come on, baby, give me something good. Cloud kill, commune with nature, cone, conjure, contact. Contagion, creation. None of these things are really just float my bowl. Dream. Tell me about Dream. One person you know on the same plane of existence. You or a willing creature you touch enter a trance state to act as a dream messenger. While in a trance, the messenger is incapacitated. If the target is asleep, the messenger appears. Thank you, Tower. If the target is asleep, the messenger appears in the target's dreams and can converse with them. If the target is awake, or wait for the target to sleep, at which point the messenger enters its dreams. You can make the messenger terrifying to the player, to the target. If you do, the messenger can deliver a message, no more than 10 words. And then the target takes wisdom saving throw and deal. No, that doesn't feel like a ship thing to do at all. I don't know why I'm investing so much time on that. Gash. Halo. Huh. The area has a radius up to, the area can have a radius up to 60 feet, 120 foot worth of ship. And the spell fails if the radius includes an area already under the effect of a hallowed ward. Choose any of these creature types. Cannot willingly enter the area. Duration until dispelled. This is not on the druid's list. Oh, man, I really like the idea of that being a ship spell, though. What was on the cleric's list? Did cleric have Hallow? Because it feels like it really should. Does not have Hallow. I'm gonna go with it. Three, 5. What's going on? Oh, I overstacked. That's what's happening. 2 cantrips, a first level and a second level. So that's how this is supposed to work, like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Everything makes sense again. I forgot how they do. I keep forgetting that's what they do. 3579, right? Like that. Thank you. Did I do Bard right? Something feels really lacking here for the Bard. Hold on. There we go. No, that was done right. Yeah, because it's a half caster. Thank you. And then Bard, I feel like Bard is supposed to have more shit going on than it does. Cleric is cool. Druid is resolved now. Let me fix that. Fighter's resolved. The fighter pilot. Imaginative title there, Kearney. Really smash job. Druid, Cleric, Barbarian, Artificer. I'll go Barbarian. Let's do one per page, I guess. Mind the gap. Fighter. A lot of text, fighter. A lot of text, fighter. Jesus is a lot of text. All right, monk. And then paladin. Yeah, we got oath spells. We got all the oath spells. And then we just resolved ranger. Love these tenants. Ranger, there we go. And then rogue. Good. And then right, these are updates that I need. So let's cut those out. Let's go to our update document. I knew I had this listed someplace. 1 second. List of 2024 updates for the pilot. Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. Those are the 3 that we have left. But what we need to do is double check in here. Swift Sales, that's resolved. Monk. That's a lot of fighter. Druid, that's all good. is. Thank you, buddy. All right, here we go. Errata. Check. Bard. So let's go to Bard. I'm getting a weird feeling that Bards don't get bonus spells anymore. Yeah, they don't get bonus spells anymore. Huh. Okay, so we're going to leave Bard alone. We're still getting the Artificer, it's 10 spells. Because we don't have any format that says otherwise. There. And yeah, let's leave that be. I can trim the spells if I need. Flavor text, blah blah blah. Cleric, you get your spells. Clerics get 10 spells. Is that right? Clerics get 10 spells, yeah? So checking real quick. Yeah, they get 10 spells. So we just resolved the Druid. Yeah? Druids get 5 to 10 spells. This is ultra specialized stuff, so we're going to give them 10. Otherwise, they get 5, but 10 feels right, so let's just go with that. And then we have the fighter resolved. Of course, the monk is resolved. Of course, the rogue will be resolved. Hold on. So sales, monk, paladin gets its 10 spells. He's good to go. Ranger gets 10 spells. Good to go. 3, 5, 7, 9. No wait, 3, 5, 9, 13. Right, 17. There. So that's appropriate for the ranger. Did we do the paladin right? 3, 5, 9, 13, 17. Thank you. 3, 5, 9, 13, 17. Rogue steps up and is resolved. Now we're, oh my god, okay, so where are we at in time? 2:18. I've got 40 more minutes. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, refill my water, and we're going to work on the sorcerer next. Ba-tang. So let's go ahead and open up a new page. Let's grab something with some authority. There. Let's do like that. Sorcerer. Astral Soul. Drop it down to another page. Blip, 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 blop, blop. Warlock. Pact of the Dead Gods. This. And then push this down. Come on, knock it off, dude. fingers pressed the wrong buttons. Now I'm trying to figure out where the hell I'm at. Thank you. What the fuck was that? Oh, whatever. I guess I went back to the front of documents? Whatever. Fighter, monk, ranger, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. There we go. Wizard, School of Navigation. And that's the end of it. So, 1, 2, 3. Hey, we only have 3 left. I think once we finish these subclasses, it'll be the right time for us to start going page by page through the combat and exploration book that we built for 2014 and update it for 2024, so that when we put these rules in place, everything will make sense there. I like that. That makes sense. I like that a lot. Right, I was going to settle in. I was going to refill my water. So give me a hot second. I'll be right back. All right. Storsner. 14th. 10th. 6th. 3rd. Sorcerers get bonus spells? Yes, they do. Good. So let's see how the scaffolding here works. Telepathic speech. Restore balance. Okay, utility communications. And advantage, disadvantage on somebody. Another interesting buff, debuff, buff, debuff. Draconic. Oh yeah, draconic spells. Sorry. Hit point maximum increase. Hit points. Okay, interesting. And then Wild Surge. There's a lot of inconsistency at 3rd level. There's no real rhyme or reason to what's going on here. All right. Well, what I want to do right off the cuff, then I know, is let's go Sorceress Amplification. When you amplify instead of a spell, you can expend 1 sorcery point instead of a first level, a level 1 spell slot, instead of a level 1 spell slot, or 2 sorcery points instead of a level 2 spell slot, when you amplify spells, you can expend 1 sorcery point instead of a level 1 spell slot, or 2 sorcery points instead of a level 2 spell slot to amplify the spell. When casting an amplified spell, no, that's good enough, period. Yeah, that cleans up the statement. And that's really good. Oh, and in addition, you can apply wait a second. Amplified meta magic. There we go. When casting an amplified spell, you can expend 1 sorcery point instead of a level 1 spell slot, or 2 sorcery points instead of a level 2 spell slot. In addition, you can apply another meta magic effect to an amplified, to a spell amplified this way if you choose. You can spend additional sorcery points to modify the amplified spell with another meta magic effect if you choose. There, because sometimes you can only have 1 meta magic effect per spell. If we're going to use meta magic to amplify a spell, we have to indicate that you can use other meta magic with it, and that it doesn't cost any extra points to do so. So in addition, you can spend additional sorcery points to modify the amplified spell and another magic effect if you choose to do so. You choose to doing so. Do I already have rules in the amplified section? I should already have rules in the amplified section about sorcery point usage. But let's double check to make sure it's actually there. So let's go to spellcasting. There we go. Sorcerers, there we go. Can expend 1 sorcery point to amplify spells to the 50-foot scale and 2 sorcery points to amplify to the 500-foot scale. Okay, it looks like we already have that hard-coded in here, so am I just wasting time with that? When casting an amplified spell, you can expend 1 sorcery point instead of a level 1 spell slot. Yeah, it looks like that's redundant. Dismiss. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of a nothing burger amplified meta magic effect. That was stupid. Well, that just took all the wind out of my sail. What do we do instead? How do we do? You can spend 1 sorcery point instead of the 1. In addition, you can spend additional sorcery points to modify the spell with meta magic. That's kind of already covered. Casting an amplified spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point instead of 2. Oh, well, that derailed me. Let's move on. We'll figure it out. What about level 6? What happens at level 6? Mute after another creature. Spend a point to roll. Huh. And then more control over your meta of your wild magic, and then more control over wild magic. So draconic sorcery. So what's the theme we have going here for sorcerer? Astral soul, huh? Yeah, I'm glad this amplified meta magic isn't working out. That's gonna keep us from being too trapped up in. So if we're trying to work on the theme of astral, is that the right theme? And can we do something that isn't pilot related for a change? So we're going to have navigation for the wizard. We're going to have Pact of the Dead Gods for gathering astral information and hidden secrets and shit for the warlock. That's going to be cool. But for the sorcerer, let's see. Pop. Soul of the Void. We had a Void Hunter on the Ranger, right? And the druid, what do we call the druid? Fighter pilot, stunt pilot. These are inspired titles, by the way. I'm good with the Sojourn domain at this point. Calls of Command, Path of the Raging Pilot, Siege Engineer, Calls of Command, Sojourn Domain, Circle of the Living Ship, that feels good. Fighter Pilot. Way of the Living Ship. Wait. Way of the Living Ship. Gotta have to name that different then. Circle of the Melting Heart. There you go. Fighter Pilot, Way of the Living Ship. Powered Ship Attacks, Empty Helm, Swift Sails, Siege Bolt, Empty Ship. Oath of Salvage. Aura of Fresh Air. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to see it. Stunt Pilot. Soul. Child of Wild Space. How is it? Child of Wild Space. Let's go with Womb of the Void. You can cast Leo's Tiny Hut as a magic action by expending 3 sorcery points, which can be amplified. Amplified soul. No. Wait. Yes. Amplified soul. We'll put that 14th as a capstone feature. You no longer need to be focusing on a spell amplifier to amplify spells. That sounds like a circular statement, but there it is. You no longer need to be. You no longer need to focus on. You no longer need to focus on a spell amplifier to amplify spells. You can amplify the spell to the 50-foot scale by expending 3 sorcery points, without an amplifier by expending 3 sorcery points. You can amplify a spell to the 500-foot scale without an amplifier by expending 6 sorcery points. Expensive, plausible. Normally you have to have a device that you're focusing on that's mounted to a ship that's active to be able to do this stuff. But here we are, the sorcerer's breaking the rules with sorcery points, as they should. Amplified Soul, that's fucking cool. Womb of the Void. You can cast Leo's Magic Tiny Hut as a magic action by expending 3 sorcery points, which can be amplified to the 50-foot scale without an amplifier by expending 3 sorcery points. Or to the 500-foot scale by expending 6. There. And then by the time we get to 14th level, you can just do that with any. So, Womb of the Void, Leo's Tiny Hut. There we go. You can unnatural life. What is it? When you expend 1 sorcery point, you can forego breathing for 24 hours and gain a natural flight speed through while in wild space equal to your movement speed, period. So when you expend 1 sorcery point, you can forego breathing for 24 hours and gain a natural flight speed with while in wild space equal to your movement speed. There you go. And unnatural survival. And then Womb of the Void is now I can cast Leo's Tiny Hut to a size that can accommodate my ship or a vessel along with the people aboard it to be able to create a safe space to be able to rest and if necessary. And then 10th level, how do we want to expand on this? Gain natural 10th level, it's
Unnatural flight. Unnatural travel. While benefiting from the while using the unnatural survival feature, you can expend an additional additional 3 sorcery points to Spelljam. You can expend an additional 3 sorcery points to gain a spelljamming flight speed equal to 1 million miles per 24 hours. You can expend an additional 6 sorcery points to gain a spelljamming speed equal to 100 million miles per day. Equal to 1 million miles per day. There's 2 types of helms. There's minor helms and there's major helms. Major helms can do 100 million miles per day. Minor helms can only do 1 million miles per day. Minor helms are good for fighter craft that are meant to jump from one ship's gravity field to another ship's gravity field to harass that enemy ship. Or if you're dealing with a stationary object that you don't have to worry about relative distance and movements, then that stationary object you can just independent. You don't have to be in their gravity plane to be able to maintain pace with them. But yeah, fighter craft, very cheap. They're only 500 gold pieces for a helm like that. The more expensive, the major helms are 5,000 gold. Let's see. To gain a spelljamming flight speed equal to 1 million miles per day. Period. And then you can period. Yeah. Wow. That ended up being incredibly easy. So that's some cool sorcery shit. Let's pick out some bonus spells. What level spell is Air Bubble? I forget. 5e Air Bubble. Good old D&D Wiki. I think it's a 2nd level spell. Survey says 2nd level spell. Air Bubble. Something Air Bubble. Let's go fetch some spells, shan't we? Two cantrips, or 1 cantrip, 2 first level spells. We already have the Air Bubble for 2nd level. So what's some cool shit? Let's go with prestidigitation. What about elementalism? What does that do for us? Nope. Firebolt, friends, guidance, light, mending, message, mind sliver, minor illusion,
Prestidigitation. Sensory effect. Fire play. Clean or soil. Yeah, prestidigitation sounds like a good one to have. Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation. There we go. What a weird word. That's probably the only cantrip we need. So let's go find something else. Let's get out there. Let's find out. What do we got? What do we got in this world? What do we got? Bane, bless. Charm, command, compel, comprehend, create, destroy water. That sounds awesome. Now all we need is a first level spell. I'm thinking like a lot of survivalist stuff here for this sorcerer, since they're capable of just basically operating on their own. Makes sense. Disguise self, whispers, divine favor, divine smite, ensnaring smite, entangle, expeditious retreats, fairy fire. Feather, fall, fog cloud, good berry. Good berry's not bad. The thorns, hellish rebuke, heroism, hex, ice knife, identify, inflict, jump. I'm so far I'm on Goodberry. Protection, purify food and drink. That it's not a bad idea. Speak with Tasha, Tensor, Thunder, Unseen, Witch Bolt, Wrathful. Was neutralized poison? Was that first level? Compel, comprehend, create, destroy, detect. Detect poison and disease. Contagions, you sense the kind of poison creature or contagion in each area. The spell is blocked by 1 foot of some whatever. Dissonant whispers, divine favor, expeditious retreat, fairy fire. I feel like there's a remove poison. Am I fucking crazy? Is there like a remove poison spell? That would be able to purify air, but you don't have the sorcerer doesn't have to breathe, so that's kind of a non-bow. Mage armor, protection from evil, purify food and drink. Tell me about you. Remove poison and rot from non-magical food and drink. Yeah, okay. Purify food and drink. It's not perfect, but I'll take it. I'm open to a better spell if there's one out there. Chatland, if you guys know where there's a better one, you are welcome to point it out to me. But so far, this seems to be grooving okay. Let's get through the second level spells and figure out where we're at. Animal Messenger, Arcane Lock, Arcane Vigor, Bark Skin, Beast Sense, Blindness, Blur, Kuda, Duda. Daggers, continual flame, current arrows, kind of madness, darkness, detect thoughts. Enhanceability, enlarge, reduce, enthrall. Let's see if we can. Come on. Gimme just one. It's one good one. Flame blade, gentle repose, gust of wind, heat metal, hold person, invisibility, lesser restoration, levitate, locate animal plant, locate objects, magic. Melf, mind, mirror, misty. Liking this less and less. Moonbeam, magic aura, pass without trace, prayer of healing. Ooh, protection from poison. You touch a creature and end the poison condition on it for the duration. The target has advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the poison condition, and it has resistance to poison damage. Huh. Yeah, I can end the poison condition, but if you're in a poisoned air cloud, you're just going to get poisoned again the next round. Duration is 1 hour. You just automatically have the poison condition in the air bubbles. There's nothing to save against, so it's not like you gain immunity to it. It's just 1 round, and for a second level spell, that ain't worth it, so that's not good. Rope Trick. What a handy fucking spell to have out in the void. Ha! Yeah, I'm just floating in space. I'm just going to jump into my extra-dimensional space here and take a nap for a little bit. Cheers. All right, that solved that problem. Let's go to 3rd level spells. That's so awesome. Oh, man, that's rich. Let's get out of here. 3rd level spell. Let's go. What do we got? What do we got? So, Curse, come on. All I need is 2. Just give me 2 hot spells. There we go. Create food and water. Makes create and destroy water kind of a shame. Purify food and drink. It's all, that feels kind of redundant. On the ground or in a container within range, right. On the ground or in a container within range, right. The food is bland but nourishing. It spoils after 24 hours if uneaten. So we can then use purify food and drink to make the food good again. That works. Okay, not redundant after all. You're saving a spell level by making old food fresh again. I'm cool with that. Fear, feign death, fireball. It ain't perfect, but it's better than nothing. So I'm cool with that. Fly spell, awful, sensible. But we have a spell jamming speed that we pick up at 10th level. Let's get it anyway. That's going to help our overall speed. And what about the last thing? What else we got? Is that takes care of 3rd level, so let's go to 4th. Tell me how to remove curse. Okay. So 4th level spells. No, not yet. Survival, movement type stuff is what I'm generally interested in here. Conjure, control, death, dim, div, dom, ev, fab, fire, font of moonlight, freedom of movement, giant insect, grasping vines, greater. Freedom of movement could be okay. Maybe. Ooh, Lehman's secret chest? That's not a bad idea. Let's do that. That's a good storage device for when you're out and floating around. Leo's secret chest. Let's look at the rules on that real quick. There's a cumulative 5% chance at the end of each day that the spell ends. So it also ends if you cast the spell again, or if the tiny replica is destroyed. Okay, no, I'm cool with that. Leo's is good. Okay. And let's see. That's Leo's chest. And what else we got? I mean, Morty's Private Sanctum. It's not a bad place to chill after flying in space all day, just to create a portal out of nowhere to take a step out and sit down. Yeah, I'm really good with it. It's a little redundant with Rope Trick, but I like it a lot. And that takes care of my fourths. Yeah, there's some redundancy here. I don't feel horrible about that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of that. Six, you got it. Fifth. Let's change it to when you cast. Well, we don't get Leo's Tiny Hut because we already have it as a free spell. That's interesting. Create food and water. I'm good with that. Fly. I'm great with that. Prestidigitation, purify food and drink, rope trick, air bubble. Okay, that's all cool. I'm good with all that. That's good. Cool. Okay, we're back on track. Private Sanctum, fucking fantastic. Absolutely love that spell for him. Unnatural travel, a little redundant with Leo's Tiny Hut. Yeah, a little redundant to get Private Sanctum immediately after it. Leo's is so much better than this. Okay, I'm good with it. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it be. I'm fine. If we can find better spells, I'll take them. But for the time being, that's okay. You gonna flip over for me? Thank you. Cloud Kill, Commune. I need 2 spells, right? 2 spells of 5th. Conjure, Contact, Contagion, Creation. Dispel, Dominate, Dream, Flame, Gash. Tell me about Dream again. On the same plane of existence. Okay, that's iffy. Flame Strike, Gash. Restore, Hallow, Hold, Storm. Oh shit, we're running out of spells, man. Come on. Raise Dead, Raries, Reincarnate, Scrying. Target doesn't know what is making save against. Target location. Nah. Summon, Swift, Sin, Tell, Tree, Wall, fuck. I am not scoring good 5th level spells here, my friends. We're gonna have to start really just reaching, like just really scraping the bowl. And Bigby's hand's not bad. Sure, why not? Pick up and move things around in space. I guess that makes sense. It's better than nothing. It's better than having a blank. Contagion, Creation. Come on, we can find something. Dominate, Dream, Flame, Gash, Hallow, Hold, Insect. Jars. Mislead? No. Mislead's no good. Modify memory, that's not relevant. Planar binding? No, definitely not. Raise dead? No. Telepathic bond? Not really. No, 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 no. Trees. I don't see scrying as like a reason particular to be scrying. I mean, this character is kind of about floating in space, right? So, what do we do about floating in space? Destructive wave, dispel evil and good, dominate person, dream, flame strike, gash, greater restoration, hallow, hold, insect plague. I gotta be missing something. Gotta be missing something here. Any life shell, awaken, banish, Big V's hand, circle of power. God, I'm just drawing up blanks here. Cloud kill, commune, no. 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 Hallow, insect plague. Man, this is tough. There's not a lot of 5th level spells anymore. they're all just combat crap. They're all just combat crap. A famous person, place, or object. The spell being in the mind or a brief summary. Mislead. Raise dead. Raise telepathic bond. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to choose scrying just because I don't have anything better to go with. It's not ideal. Not ideal. Fine, we'll go with it. I don't have anything else to do. Scrying. Why not? There. Fuck you. Oh, my eye. Well, that takes care of the sorcerer, and we're at 308. I've got like at most 10 minutes left. So instead of pushing on to try to get something else done, I'm going to leave it here. We're going to be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in Seattle time. That's noon East Coast New York time. And we only have the Warlock and the Wizard left. Playtest coming up that I need to work on. And we have Spelljammer conversion stuff, the Warlock, the Wizard. So we're going to have a 3-hour workbench tomorrow that I can just work on whatever I want. Maybe I'll just break it up. Hey, thanks a lot, Karen. Yeah, I think tomorrow we'll probably work on the Warlock. We might work on Warforged and Kaiju a little bit. We're probably going to work on the Mega Dungeon a little bit for our Martial Powers playtesting. We might do some Theros conversion work and maybe a little bit of artwork. I'm not 100% on how all that stuff's going to stack out. But that's a good laundry list of for stuff for us to play with. So I might just be bouncing around and doing other stuff tomorrow. Maybe we'll start off with Magic the Gathering stuff. We'll see. But yeah, thanks a lot, Karen. I really appreciate it. Anyone else that's out there, thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. Like, subscribe. I'm here 10 times per week, either doing artwork or game design. Be welcome to drop into my Discord channel link down below just to say hey or ask any questions. And check out the books I have linked down below. They all have free previews, so enjoy them and buy them if you like them. And I'll see everybody on the other side. Thanks a lot. Bye.